What is up, y'all? In this video, we're going to chat about the exact steps that I took to start my business with almost no overhead and see if you like what I did and maybe you want to do the same. So, what I want you to know is when we talk with clients that are looking to start businesses, a lot of them have these faulty beliefs on what's required to start a physical therapy clinic. The reason for that is because they did some sort of group project in PT school where, they had this imaginary budget and they had to put together a business plan and they had to build out a clinic that required a ton of capital expenses, a ton of money, a ton of funding to get it started, right? 40, 50, 60, 100, $500,000 to get a clinic started. Because with a traditional PT model, with a traditional clinical model, you have traditional overhead, right? So you need a standalone space. You need retail space, right? You see where PT clinics are located. They want to be in highly visible areas. They want to be close to doctors' offices, medical complexes. Guess what, guys? That real estate is not cheap. That commercial real estate is not cheap. You need to buy high quality treatment tables. You need to buy multiple of them. You need to build out your facility with equipment, with desks, with furniture, with staff, with billing, more. Whatever you need to do, you got to pay all that stuff to get a traditional model started. That wasn't what I wanted to do, right? So here's what I recommend in this process. Find a location that has existing infrastructure and a population that you want to serve, right? So for me, that was CrossFit gyms. I was a CrossFitter, I was a CrossFit coach, still do CrossFit to this day. And so I've always loved working with that client. I loved working in that environment. It was just a no-brainer for me to go into that clinical experience or that gym experience for me. You really need to understand the economics of the deal structure that you're negotiating. If you're going to do a pay per client or if you're going to pay rent. The one thing I recommend you never do is I recommend you never give a percentage of your revenue away, right? And the reason for that is because when you raise your price, you also raise your expenses. So let's say that you're charging $200 a session and the person wants 20% of your revenue. I'd rather you pay them $40 flat. Now, I think $40 per client is a little high, but I'm just using that as an example, right? The third part, and this is key, you have to become a part of their ecosystem, right? You want to become ingrained in the way that that business operates so that you provide value to them and you provide value to their clients. So like I said, step one, find a location with existing infrastructure and a population you serve, right? Once you've done that, once you've had some conversations with them, look into maybe what your state requires, LLC versus PLLC. For me, when I started out, I just needed an LLC. That was something that could protect my personal assets from anything that happened at my business. So step one is find a location with existing infrastructure, do a little research, meet with a lawyer, meet with the CPA, figure out like how you want to actually set up your entity. Understanding the economics of the payment structure you're negotiating. So the thing that I always explain to my clients when they are negotiating deals with gyms is I want you to be able to see the deal from both sides. Okay, I want you to see it from your side and I want you to see it from the business that you're looking to connect with. So when you pay per client, you're likely going to pay more because you're paying for flexibility. There's no guarantee, right? The nice part about this is that your expenses are always protected by revenue. So for example, if I have to pay $25 per client, the only way that I'm paying $125 to that facility is if I see 5 clients. There's no other way that I'm going to be paying them money unless my business is generating revenue. Again, if somebody offers you a percentage, what I would do is I would convert that percentage to the flat fee and say, hey, I'm really just not comfortable doing a percentage. I would rather give you X amount, whatever the conversion is on that percentage, in a flat fee versus, as my prices go up, so do my expenses. So just keep in mind that you're getting flexibility. If you are going to pay a stabilized rate, a flat rate of rent, this is going to be something that becomes more or less efficient with the number of clients that you see. So the more clients you see per client, the cheaper your rent gets. The less clients you see, the more expensive your rent gets per client. The beauty of this for the gym is that now they're getting paid no matter what. So how many clients you see is your problem, not theirs, right? So when you're starting out, I recommend some sort of blend, right? Some sort of blend. Hey, let's start with a per client, flat fee per client, up to 500, 750, $1,000 until I hit that number, or there's a cap on that number so that you don't have to pay a crazy rate and you can't make your business work. You really have to understand how to control your overhead with your business. So this is just one way that we can have you do it, is by understanding those economics. Lastly, you have to really become a part of their ecosystem, and it's okay to start somewhere and it not be your forever home, right? The first gym that I started at was a great starting location. Great starting location, great gym, great people. But I had to set up my table on the gym floor. Sometimes it was loud. Sometimes I had to move in the middle of sessions. That was fine to get started, but as I kind of evolved, I was like, you know what? I want an office. I want to be able to have my own door. I want to be able to have privacy. I want to be able to have a window in my office. I want to be able to do certain things in my office, put a whiteboard up, have a shelf, have storage space, not have to carry my table in and out of my car. Those things start to cost a little bit more money, but the main point that I'm trying to make there is don't let the circumstance of how you have to get started prevent you from getting started. Because I promise you that even if you go into that situation that's a little bit less than ideal from a setup perspective, you're going to have the ball rolling. And guess what? When you have money coming in, even from that table that's just out on the gym floor, it's going to make it so much easier for you to negotiate with the space, because now you're not going to be stressed for cash. You have money in the business bank account. You have cash flow coming in. It's easier for you to absorb expenses. So those are really the three main things that I would recommend you do. Reimagine what you learned in school. Stay lean. Start small and expand, right? Version 1 of your business is not going to be version 20, I promise. Create a deal structure that works for you and understand the difference between why you want to pay a flat fee for flexibility, why you want to pay rent to stabilize. Maybe you work a deal that kind of blends or tiers those, and then ultimately become a part of that facility's ecosystem. As always, y'all, if you have questions, comments, concerns, head down to that caption, check out some of the links in there, head over to our website, engagemovement.com. If you feel inclined, feel free to book a strategy call with me, and we can chat about what it would look like for you specifically to start your own clinic and maybe take a little bit of leap of faith in yourself. So we look forward to connecting with you, and have a great night.